Absolutely. And we'll continue getting all the latest updates that are coming in from the RML hospital where the Prime Minister currently is. He's going to be interacting with healthcare workers, but there are going to be celebrations, moments to mark this day across the country. I want to take this across to our reporters across India to tell you what really the plans are. Nolan Pinto is joining us live from Bengaluru. We have Prema Rajaram joining us from Kolkata. Nolan, to you first. Good morning. A historic day for all of us. Tell us really what are the plans in Karnataka, because in every state we're being told that the administration, the government is planning big bang celebrations to mark this day.
Well, in fact, it is actually a very big day when many people actually believe that this was not possible. The government, the union government as well as the state governments have worked together in order to do this. Now in Karnataka also, the Chief Minister, when B.S. Yadurappa was the Chief Minister and now as well with Bommai, they have stated that by the end of December, all the adult population of Karnataka will be vaccinated, at least with a single dose. So as of now, in Karnataka today, 6 crore odd people have received their vaccination. 4 crores have actually got the single dose, and 2 crore odd people have received both the doses. So in Karnataka, work is on, lot of campaigns going on to make sure and tell people that the vaccine is important, it can save your life, and people are actually coming out.
I think we have to salute our healthcare heroes, salute every citizen really who's been a part of this journey. And you know, this has been an effort from everywhere. It's not just the centre, the states, everyone came together to ensure that this moment was possible of hitting 1 billion doses. Prema Rajaram is joining us live from Kolkata. Prema, in Bengal also, you know, the challenges of holding an election amid a pandemic, the challenges of ensuring your vaccination drive goes on track. All of that was overcome to ensure that, you know, every citizen had an access to a jab.
Absolutely, Akshita. What was heartwarming was that it was not just the private hospitals or even the government centers and hospitals that came forward to vaccinate people. There was a huge rush in the last few months, but even various establishments, whether it was housing complexes or even workspaces that took the initiative to vaccinate their people. And I think that is something that many people really appreciate. Instead of running from one place to another looking for a vaccine, they had the vaccination the centers over there. They had other options as well. So it was the healthcare workers who took the initiative to encourage people to come out and take the vaccine, because they were the first few to get the vaccination, and encourage people and say that there are no major side effects which people were scared of. So to see that many people have come forward, taken the vaccine, and as far as Bengal is concerned, as of October 20th, around 6 crore of the population has already taken, more than 6 crore. In fact, it's 6 crore 82 lakh people have taken the vaccine when it comes to the first and second doses, of which close to 5 crore people have taken the first dose and close to 2 crore people have taken the second dose of the vaccine. So these are figures that are coming in from West Bengal. The vaccination drive was suspended during the festive season of Durga Puja, but it's back again. We are at the state-run SSKM hospital. People are waiting here, and what they tell us is, though the wait might be a little bit, but they are getting their vaccination, and that is good news for the people of West Bengal and of course for the people of India. Back to you, Akshita.
Absolutely, and it's so heartening to see that number on your screens there continuing to go up. 1 billion doses and counting currently in India. This is a vaccination drive that initially had a number of hiccups, but it got on track. It got where we needed it to get, and especially, you know, with the second wave hitting us and whatnot, there were points where it looked like we wouldn't be able to celebrate this kind of a milestone for quite some time. But the government has maintained that they're going to stick to a fact, ensuring that the adult population is vaccinated as soon as possible. And Milind Sharma is also with us. Milind, there's been time and again a discussion of the government's deadline that by end of this year, the entire adult population will be vaccinated. Is that still going to happen? It definitely looks like we're on the right track.
Well, definitely, Akshita, that is what we've been told is the next big target that the government will be looking at, and it's a very important target. Not just because, you know, there are people who have taken their first shot, but also people now need to come out in more numbers and take their second dose as well. And that is something that will lead to a larger amount of protection from COVID-19. And definitely that is when we'll be able to say that the maximum amount of people in the country would become fully vaccinated, because now we know from official figures about 75% of India's eligible population has been vaccinated with at least dose 1. But it is very important, and you and I and everyone as we speak, it's very important to take the second jab of the COVID-19 vaccine as well. And that seems to be the topmost priority, even as the world is looking at using booster doses to vaccinate, the third dose that the world is currently looking at. But India is very certain that first we have to finish with our mammoth population of second dose vaccination, and only after that we should move to looking at any sort of booster if at all that's needed. But remember, the vaccination drive has been largely a success also because India has seen lesser amount of vaccine hesitancy when it came to taking the vaccine as compared to other countries. Hitting the 1 billion mark has also been possible because of the contribution, because of the understanding that the pandemic has affected daily life, and the people were also vaccine enthusiasts because we saw shortage of vaccinations. Remember, vaccine centers running dry as people rushed to get their jab, and that was the big challenge that India had to look at and cross over today with the healthcare workers. They're working round the clock to ensure we hit that 1 billion mark, Akshita.
All right, Milind, we'll keep coming across to you as you join us live on this broadcast. I want to also bring in quickly Kumar Kunal. He's reporting from outside the RML hospital in Delhi. That's where the Prime Minister currently is. Kumar, good morning. A historic day, and the Prime Minister is leading the nation's celebrations by thanking, honouring our healthcare heroes who've gone above and beyond to ensure this moment. It's because of them that we're able to talk about a successful vaccine drive right now.
Good morning, Akshita, and absolutely right that the healthcare workers are actually the engine of the whole vaccination drive, and they are driving this the whole, you can say, the vaccination drive on their own shoulders. And that's why Prime Minister Narendra Modi is right now present inside the Ram Manohar Lohia hospital, which is a central government run hospital, and he is spending the time with the healthcare workers who actually made it possible to achieve 1 billion doses of the vaccine. But as Milan was telling, that there are still some challenges, there is still some gap between what should be achieved. But right now it's an occasion to celebrate, and that's why Prime Minister Narendra Modi is leading the country in that celebration and actually spending some time with the healthcare workers who are actually the real hero of the whole vaccination drive. And as we will move ahead, there are concerns about the second dose vaccination. There are some talks about the vaccination of those who are below 18 years of age group. All those things will be taken care of in days to come. That's what we are getting from our government sources. But right now, main focus is on vaccinating the whole eligible population, which is 18 plus year age group. Till now, only 31% of the population is vaccinated with a double dose. So that is the clear focus right now. But right now, Mansukh Mandaviya, who is the health minister, he is inside. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is inside. Mansukh Mandaviya is going to launch the campaign song today at Lal Killa. So all these celebrations will take place today. So today we don't have to look too many things how the vaccination drive will take place in future, but it's a time when we need to celebrate, we need to ponder, we need to thank those healthcare workers who took all the challenges. Once you must be remembering that when the vaccination doses were not available in the countries, in many states, even state government were under pressure. These healthcare workers were under tremendous pressure to overcome all those challenges. Now it's time to celebrate, and that's why this moment is very, very special for all the countrymen, and especially the healthcare workers and those who are involved with the whole vaccination
That's
drive,
right.
those companies who are providing vaccines, all are here at this time. We need to thank all of them.
That's right, and that's why the Prime Minister, as you mentioned, Kumar, is where you are at the RML Hospital along with Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya. So we will stand by for the address where the Prime Minister is going to be interacting with the healthcare workers at the RML Hospital also, who've been doing all they can to ensure that we reach this milestone today, that we're here celebrating this remarkable achievement of 1 billion vaccine doses. Yes, there were a lot of hiccups. Yes, we do have challenges in the road ahead also, but it's important to highlight this kind of a landmark, this kind of an achievement, because we've reached here thanks to every single citizen who's gone out there and gotten the jab. I want to take this across also to Akshay Nath, who's joining us from Chennai. Akshay, I've been highlighting how, this has been a collective effort. We saw, some politics along the way, and I don't want to talk about that today because this is a moment to remember our highs as well. And we've seen, the central government, the state governments all working round the clock, the local administration, all of them ensuring they do their bit to curb vaccine hesitancy. And initially, that was a serious problem in states like Tamil Nadu.
Well, yes, Akshita, right when the vaccination drives had started, we had seen how Tamil Nadu was one of the lowest vaccinated state. But after that, we're seeing that continuous awareness campaigns, drives and special camps that are being held in across Tamil Nadu. There are already 5 camps which are over, and the 6th camp is to take place on Saturday, the 23rd of this month. And we're seeing that these kind of drives have motivated more people to come and get themselves inoculated. And it is a very, very big number, Akshita. We are being told that more than 60% of the state population have at least got a single dose. And, till Friday, almost 50 lakh doses are going to be administered across Tamil Nadu. And as far as Kanchipuram, Chennai, Nilgiris are concerned, these places have seen very, very high number of inoculation. Close to 91% is the vaccination ratio that is being told in Kanchipuram. And similarly, Chennai and Nilgiris is also just behind. And we're also seeing that people between the age group of 18 to 44 and 45 to 59, they have also been coming forward to get themselves vaccinated. Only the 60 and above age group, we've seen 45% vaccination so far. That is a very low number, and again the State Department is trying to increase that number of vaccination also. And Akshita, as you were saying, the vaccine hesitancy which was there was completely taken away after this kind of mega vaccination camps that were being conducted every Sunday. And now we are seeing that close to 11 lakh people are expected to be vaccinated in the upcoming vaccination camp that is going to be happening on the 23rd. So we're seeing that the state government along with the central government have been working really hard. And on Monday, the State Health Minister Ma Subramaniam, who has always been saying that the centre has not been giving them enough number of vaccines, has also credited the central government now. He's even told that because of the DMK's effort, the centre is also providing a more number of vaccines to the state without any hesitancy or delay. And that is also one of the reasons why the drive is continuously happening in the state. So we're seeing that there's a lot of positivity between the state and the central government as far as the vaccination drives are also concerned. And the number of people who have been stepping forward to get vaccinated is only increasing. But even those few who have that hesitancy to come and get vaccinated are also being requested continuously by the central and state government. So we're seeing a positive change across the country and in Tamil Nadu as well, Akshita.
And to celebrate this moment of 1 billion doses and counting, you're going to be seeing all monuments being lit up across the country. This isn't a celebration limited to one part of India. The entire country, every citizen who's added to that figure is going to be celebrating today, thanking our healthcare warriors, thanking our frontline heroes, and also considering the circumstances that we've seen some of these vaccination drives happening in. We had some very, very telling images through the last many months of healthcare workers overcoming some of the most, aggressive terrains, getting to these villages which are so remote and ensuring they also had access to these vaccines. The local administration working in tandem with centre, state governments to ensure that everyone had access to these vaccines. Our scientists who've done such a great job in developing India's vaccines, addressing shortage issues as well, ensuring that we have adequate supply, all of them are the ones we need to celebrate today as we talk about 1 billion vaccine doses being administered in 9 months in India. These images that you see on your screens were from a few moments ago when the Prime Minister arrived at the RML hospital. You can see that he was accompanied by Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya. In about 15 minutes from now, we're expecting his interaction with the healthcare heroes to also begin. So we've reached that landmark, that milestone of 1 billion vaccine doses, 100 crore vaccinations. Let's get you this report about exactly what this big billion means and how India managed to achieve this feat. Moving mountains in the most inhospitable terrains, ensuring no Indian is left behind. India's finally crossed the landmark 1 billion COVID vaccine doses in a little over 9 months from when the first dose was administered in January. With Prime Minister Narendra Modi and state governments leading from the front, the vaccine milestone is a feat unparalleled in modern medical history. The 100 crore doses are a turning point in India's mega pandemic fight, a shining light just ahead of India's biggest festival, Diwali. Protecting 75% of India's population with the first dose. The mammoth task saw dedication from healthcare and frontline workers who sacrificed family time to ensure the jab of life is delivered to even the last person in the queue. But challenges still remain. Nearly 70% of adult population needs to be fully jabbed.
The first dose coverage is touching, almost 80%. It will be touching 80% in a few days or so. But how big is the concern that as far as the two-dose coverage is there, is just about 30%?
The immunization is not complete till both the doses have been given. With one dose, we reach a certain level of immunity. It is the second dose which exponentially raises the immunity level to the maximum possible immunity that the vaccine can give. So it is a half task done. About 10 crore individuals are due for their second dose as of now, roughly about 10 crore. And they should have received the second dose by now.
Children below 18, who make for 40% of the population, are yet to get vaccines. Zydus Cadila's Zycov-D and Bharat Biotech's Covaxin are, however, ready to be rolled out now for kids.
Curbing vaccine hesitancy remains a very big challenge. But as a lot of people who took their first dose this summer will move forward to take their second jab, the narrowing of gap will take place, and this is what the government is expecting. And an aggressive campaign to make sure they urge people to take the second jab will be undertaken going forward by the Health Ministry as well. And that will help inoculate many by the end of December. That remains a bigger target for the government. With Sanjay Kumar in New Delhi, this is Milan Sharma reporting for India Today.
So as Milan just mentioned in that report, in months we're expecting that number to go up further as people who got their first jab will be due to get their second jab in the next few weeks and next few months as well. We're getting you reports from across the country to tell you exactly how every Indian right now is so proud of that number that you see on your screens of 1 billion vaccine doses and counting being administered in the country in a matter of 9 months. And this is a collective effort that's led to this moment. It's a collective effort that's led to all of us celebrating. I want to take this across now to Rohit Singh, who's joining us live from Patna. In parts of Bihar, Rohit, it's some of the most remote villages. You had the local administration working with healthcare warriors, all of them coming together to ensure that vaccines were available for every single person in Bihar.
Well, absolutely. As far as Bihar is concerned, till now approximately 6.5 crore doses have been administered to the people of the state, and that's a big number. And considering the fact that Bihar is a backward state and almost like 4 to 5 months in the back, it has been battling with floods also. So you can understand the condition of the state, that 17 to 18 districts have been flood ravaged, and in those areas carrying out the vaccination drive was the biggest challenge for the state government. And in those circumstances also the state government resorted to Tika Wali now. You see that there were boats that were put in deputed, and several nurses, healthcare workers, they were going on the boats to flood ravaged areas, to the villages, those are flood affected, and carrying out the vaccination drive. So it was a Herculean task, especially in Bihar, considering that it's not only backward, but also that several areas of the state was also under flood for 4 to 5 months back. So that was a big challenge. But now we are seeing that the vaccination drive is going on across the state. In fact, 100 crore doses have been administered across the country, out of which approximately 6.5 crore doses have been given in Bihar itself. And Nitish Kumar himself has also set up a task for him, sort of a challenge of giving 6 crore jabs to the people in 6 months. So this, in fact, started in July this year, and by December, the state government is hoping that 6 crore people will be administered doses as far as the state government is concerned.
I think from my conversation with all of our reporters, it's clear that the state government also has set certain missions of their own that they believe they must achieve in the coming months to ensure that the vaccine drive, as is right now, continues to progress further, and we continue to break and shatter more records. This is a very exclusive club that India has entered now, of 1 billion vaccine doses having been administered. Yes, there are still very much challenges ahead, especially if you look at the kind of numbers that have emerged. It's very clear that we still need to work on how many people have been administered their second vaccine dose, have been completely inoculated. That number is slightly lesser than what we'd like it to be, but that is something that the administration is working on. And with no issues anymore of vaccine shortages or any of that, this seems achievable. It definitely seems like something that in the next few months we will improve upon as well. And as we get in our reporters on this as well, I also want to get in Prema Rajaram. She's joining us from Kolkata. Prema, you know, the government, the Mamata government also is focused a lot on the vaccination drive. There were initial hiccups with regards to vaccine supply issues, shortages and the likes. But what is the target that they have set now for the state?
Well, as far as the initial hiccups were concerned, yes, there were those hiccups, but the state government was very aggressive in getting the vaccination drive, across the state, making sure that the vaccination did not just take place in Kolkata, but even the districts. And there were hiccups in the districts as well. There were people running to government hospitals and complaining of not getting the vaccines, but all that has eased out now, and that is the good news. Even when people have to wait in line, they don't mind doing that because they know they are going to get the vaccine, and that surety is what is encouraging, because the state government is encouraging people to come out and take that vaccine. As far as a target is concerned, the state government has not really set any major target, but they have been confident that most people will come out and take the second dose. Like you were mentioning, most people have taken their first dose. Some people are still to take the second dose, and maybe that disparity is still there, but people will have to take their second dose at some point in time, and the vaccination centers, whether private or government centers, are waiting for people to come in and take those vaccines. So there is no vaccine shortage, which is the good news. Vaccines are available, and encouraging more people who had the fear psychosis to come forward and even take their first dose. So that is something which is a challenge for the state government, considering the fact that there have been festivities here in West Bengal. There have been elections as well. So it is of course a target for the state government to vaccinate majority of its population over here. Back to you, Akshita.
Absolutely, and to overcome all of those challenges, to ensure that every citizen has an access to a vaccine and every citizen gets the jab, to overcome vaccine hesitancy was also one of the biggest challenges that we saw. But it's something that we've been largely successful in. Yes, we have miles to go really at this point, and especially in some of these villages where there are still a lot of rumors that do the rounds about these vaccines. Something like this moment of celebrating 1 billion doses will encourage all those who've been hesitant to get the vaccine to go ahead. You know, the world will watch this moment and take notes from how India successfully implemented this vaccination drive on such a huge, massive population. We've been very, very successful. There were initial hiccups, as all of us have been discussing. We can't really overlook those or, you know, paint over those kind of hiccups. But having said that, right now we're on track. And hopefully in the months to come, we'll be discussing a lot more such milestones, a lot more such landmarks as well. I also want to take this across to Kumar Kunal, who's reporting from the RML hospital, because Kumar, where you are is where Prime Minister Narendra Modi in about 10 minutes from now is going to be speaking to healthcare heroes, you know, the warriors who through this pandemic from the very beginning saved lives and then couldn't let up in the fight against COVID, because once the vaccines were through, again the onus was on them to ensure that every single one of us got the jab.
Yes, and you are right, and this is the center of celebration which is going to happen today and even in the time to come. And I will show you one of the posters which has been put up just outside the Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital, where Prime Minister is present right now. There is a big cutout of Prime Minister Modi himself, and there is a celebratory message also written over the poster. Although the poster has been put up by the BJP, so politically as well, this achievement is going to we will hear about all this achievement in times to come. But right now, what is more important, that Prime Minister is present among the healthcare workers. You actually mentioned that they are the real heroes of the whole vaccination drive. The kind of challenges that they took on their soldiers. That's what was most important in last few months. Actually, we were talking with the Patna and Kolkata reporters, and they told us that there are different kind of challenges in different states. As far as Delhi is concerned, almost 2 crore vaccinations, vaccination doses have been given to the administered to the residents of Delhi, but still a long way to go.
Absolutely, Kumar. I'm slipping into a very short break here on India Today. I also want to show you those images of Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya celebrating this feat. He was seen distributing sweets to many of the healthcare workers at the RML hospital. So even from moments from now, you're going to have Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacting with these healthcare workers as we take a look at those numbers which continue to climb up of the number of vaccine doses being administered here in India. I'm slipping into a very short break. We'll be right back.
At the India Today Media Institute, we believe in training students in independent and critical thinking to improve their ability to analyze the world around them. The training provided at the ICMR is rigorous and multimedia, with a view of producing top-notch media professionals.
The wait is almost over for the Business Today MTRA Best B Schools survey. More than 300 of India's best B schools compete for top honors in the most definitive guides to B schools in India. Which are the top 5 B schools? Will there be a new number 1? Who has the best placement record, the best facilities, the best technology? All this and much more in the Business Today Best B Schools survey. Subscribe now to grab your copy.
At the India Today Media Institute, we believe in training students in independent and critical thinking so they improve their ability to analyze the world around them. The training provided at the ITMI is rigorous and multimedia with a view of providing top-notch media professionals. Register now at www.indiatodaymediainstitute.in.
people talk about this huge middle class, 500, 700 million people, the trickle-down effect. Are you a non-believer in that? Are you saying that this small club of 2-3 crore people will keep driving consumption in India? They will keep on becoming wealthier and spend more, hopefully.
Less than 6% of urban Indian women are participating in the labor force and are currently having financial income. 92% of all credit cards are owned by men. 95% of all loans in India are taken by men. We cannot build an extremely prosperous society with just one gender working.
You don't seem stressed about the number of millions of people who are on credit. You have a very healthy user base, but it's not running into hundreds of millions. Is that by design that you want to stick to the quality end of the market?
Focusing on the top 25 million customers who own a credit card and creating a superior experience can build a very, very large company. We've seen that multiple times, even in banking and financial institutions. The question is that can you at least serve them well and do a good job with them? I think chasing hundreds of millions of customers is a great idea, but it does not monetize quite well. We rather remain focused and create high quality experience for a small cohort of customers.
You are watching India Today.
India crosses 1 billion vaccine doses. Super duper landmark in COVID-19 war. India raises a toast to 1 billion jabs. Haters mocked, but India quietly fought. India salutes our healthcare workers. Citizens, this is thanks to your vaccine faith. Every jab counted, and now it's 1 billion. A truly historic moment for India and our massive vaccination drive. We've crossed the 1 billion vaccination mark. This is an unimaginable feat, and we've achieved this in just 257 days. Prime Minister Modi is at the RML hospital. We're cutting across live.
उच्च वर्ग भारत सरकार के अभियान में मुफ्त वैक्सीन ही लगाई जाएगी।
और अब से थोड़ी देर में प्रधान
Apologies. We'll get you the live updates that come in from the RML hospital in just a bit. The Prime Minister will be interacting with healthcare workers there as well. But I just want to tell you about why this is such a huge feat. India's ramped up vaccinations at a rapid pace with an average of 11.12 crore doses a day and over 46.3 lakh doses every hour. With nearly 75% of all adults with at least one dose, it's about 31% having received both doses, and we're going to be building up on that number of adults receiving both doses. The Prime Minister is at the RML hospital. He's going to be interacting with healthcare workers who are the real heroes in the fight against COVID and who've ensured that the vaccination drive has been successful, and we reached this record today. And in fact, we've had several such moments to celebrate. Remember the highest single day tally of 2.5 crore shots. That was on September 17th, the Prime Minister's birthday. This also went on to set a world record for daily vaccinations. India has come a long way since it kicked off one of the largest vaccination drives really in the world. A number of initial hiccups. You had bottlenecks, vaccine hesitancy, logistical challenges, rumors. All of that has now settled. All of those challenges have been battled, and we've reached the stage where we're at 1 billion doses of the COVID vaccine being administered and counting. I want to take this across now to Mohit Sharma. He's joining us live from inside the RML hospital. Mohit, the Prime Minister will be interacting with the healthcare heroes shortly. We saw the Health Minister, Mansukh Mandaviya, also distributing sweets, celebrating with the healthcare workers there. If you could speak to some of these heroes and really tell us what the mood is there on the ground.
Well, absolutely, Akshata. We'll directly go to and speak to some of these doctors here, sir. Prime Minister himself was here. How do you look at it? You know, the Prime Minister and the Health Minister appreciating what you've done over the past 1.5 years, not just in the battle with COVID, but in the vaccination process as well. 1 billion completed today.
Yeah, it was highly encouraging and highly motivational for doctors and paramedical workers and all the employees of the hospital and in the health services to have come here and launch the 100 crore the vaccination setup from here. It was highly encouraging. We are feeling highly motivated and looking forward to deliver the more health care services in a further better way to humankind. Thank you.
The doctors, here only want to take it further ahead. We have some of the paramedical staff here as well. Ma'am, the Prime Minister himself was there. How do you see this? Because he has been appreciative. वो उन्होंने खुद ने आकर के यहाँ पर appreciate करा है जो आप लोगों ने काम करा है लगातार 1.5 साल से लगातार आप लोग काम कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर कोविड के बीच में. कैसा लग रहा है मैम?
So overwhelmed,
ma'am. But it's not just on the side of the COVID waves, but also in the process of vaccination also that you've played a very crucial part. 100 crore vaccinations done till today.
we are feeling very proud that PM Modi came here and it's just a moment of celebration. It's a moment of celebration. For us.
मैम लेकिन स्ट्रगल भी बहुत रहा है, हमने देखा है क्योंकि आपके आसपास सारे लोग पेशेंट्स थे, कोविड के लगातार केसेस बढ़ते जा रहे थे जिसमें लगा था कि बहुत खराब सिचुएशन है और देखने को भी मिल रही थी. उस समय आप लोग काम कर रहे थे, कैसा लग रहा था? इफ यू कुड जस्ट टेल अस अबाउट दैट ब्रीफली प्लीज.
सर काफी डर भी लग रहा था पर हमें पेशेंट्स के लिए करना भी पड़ा था. वी आल्सो गॉट पॉजिटिव. हाँ जी, वी ऑल
वर कोविड पॉजिटिव एंड स्टिल यू मैनेज्ड टू कम हियर एंड
we again have joined our duties and we are doing our work back to the normal, back to the grind. And yeah, it was whole lot new experience when PM Modi was here and it was so overwhelmed and we healthcare workers just feel so motivated and we are just very thankful. And we should say that everybody should be vaccinated as soon as possible. If you get a chance, just get vaccinated at the earliest.
At the earliest, get vaccinated. And mind you, all of these paramedical staff that you just saw us talking have in fact been infected with COVID as well. So you can try and understand what would have gone through their minds, Akshata, what would have gone through their families' minds as well. Themselves infected with COVID and yet trying to ensure that the people are given healthcare services with uttermost responsibility. We have other members here as well. Sir, I'm assuming that you are here with the Armil healthcare staff as well, sir. Sir, how do you feel? 100 crore vaccinations done today. The Prime Minister himself, offering gratitude to all the services that you've managed to provide. Kaisa lag raha hai, sir? How do you feel?
Nice. It's great that we are immunizing and preventing the spread of COVID. We have a shield, that's only the vaccine, Covishield.
The vaccine is the only shield, the doctors themselves say. Sir, but struggle भी बहुत रहा है पिछले 1.5 साल में. हमने देखा है कैसे डॉक्टर्स और पैरामेडिकल स्टाफ जो है वो फ्रंट लाइन में थे, लगातार लड़ते रहे. How do you respond to those struggles when you look back? How crucial was that time and how did you manage to overcome all of that?
Actually, the thing is that it is a very great achievement that we have got 100 crores of people have been vaccinated. So there was the road was not very easy. It was very much difficult. But with all due respect to our Prime Minister Narendra Modi sir, that and all the doctors team, that we have achieved this success. And very big congratulations to the nation as well and to the whole world that India has set a very good example towards the whole nation and whole worldwide, that we have achieved this target, and we hope that we will successfully remove this very big pandemic from the whole world as well as our country also.
Akshata, you heard from the doctors, you heard from the paramedics, and all of them are jubilant of the fact that as a country we have managed to at least inoculate 100 crore vaccines, and that's a huge feat, considering the fact that from where we started and from where we finally reached. We'll speak to other paramedical staff here as well. Sir, कैसा लग रहा है आप लोगों को? You are the young healthcare providers of the country. कैसा लग रहा है अभी आप लोगों को? आप लोग यहाँ पर हैं, healthcare services में हैं और प्रधानमंत्री खुद आए. He was here himself congratulating you, offering gratitude.
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, बहुत यहाँ पे आए जी, लोगों का हौसला अफजाई किया उन्होंने आके, अच्छा लगता है, आना चाहिए उनको, ऐसे वैक्सीनेशन के लिए आए हैं, वो के साथ आना चाहिए, मतलब इंटरेक्शन करना चाहिए नॉर्मल स्टाफ के साथ, नॉर्मल डॉक्टर्स के साथ.
You can try and understand the mood here. Of course, these staff members are jubilant of the fact and clearly happy of the fact that...
I'm just interrupting you. We'll come across to you again. The Prime Minister's just tweeted on this massive feat. Here's what he said. We've put out that tweet on your screens. India scripts history. We're witnessing the triumph of Indian science, enterprise and the collective spirit of 130 crore Indians. Congrats India on crossing 100 crore vaccinations. Gratitude to our doctors, nurses and those who worked to achieve this feat. So that is the Prime Minister's message to the nation. He's saying that every Indian has the right to celebrate, and that's why he said that congratulations India on crossing 100 crore vaccinations. The Prime Minister in that tweet has recognized our scientists who toiled hard to ensure we get a vaccine, all those who helped in the distribution of the vaccine as well, and the collective spirit, as he's put it, of 130 crore Indians. He's also mentioned gratitude to our healthcare heroes, to our doctors, nurses and all those who worked to achieve this feat. The first reaction from Prime Minister Narendra Modi moments ago, he was at the RML hospital also interacting with the healthcare workers there, thanking them for all that they've done for the nation, thanking them for ensuring that we have this moment to celebrate as well. And he's essentially reflected that in this tweet as well. So Mohit, you were getting us some voices from the RML hospital as well, and these healthcare workers, you know, it's a moment of pride for them. They've toiled so hard, and for that, you know, hard work to be recognized so much, with the Prime Minister ensuring that his first visit is to a hospital, his first message and interaction is with these healthcare workers who've toiled to make this moment happen.
Well, absolutely, Akshata. The fact remains that, you know, it was essentially the frontline warriors in the, you know, by the name of doctors, paramedics, who have in fact helped India not just sustain the vaccination drive, but more importantly fight the COVID pandemic as well. And it wasn't just, mind you, the paramedics. The Prime Minister also met one crucial members of the staff here as well. You know, the security staff here as well, and ensured that what they have done was also noted. Sir, प्रधानमंत्री खुद आए थे यहाँ पर, आप लोगों से मुलाकात करी, अप्रिशिएट करा आप लोगों को, बोला कि बहुत अच्छा काम करा है, कैसा लगा?
बहुत अच्छा लगा सर, हम लोगों को एक मनोबल बढ़ा, हम हाई मोटिवेटेड हुए, हमारे सुरक्षा कर्मी जो अस्पताल में लगे हुए हैं, जिस समय लोग आना नहीं चाह रहे थे, आने का साधन नहीं था, जाने का सुविधा नहीं था, उस समय में हम लोगों ने काम किया।
और क्योंकि देखिए हम कहेंगे इमोशंस भी बहुत हाई पे थे उस समय पे, हर किसी को चाहिए था उस समय लोगों ने सिर्फ यही नहीं, जो प्रधानमंत्री हमेशा से कहते आए हैं 2 गज की दूरी, वो भी बनवा करके रखी, आपने इंश्योर करा कि जो कोविड प्रोटोकॉल्स हो वो मैनेज हो। आज प्रधानमंत्री खुद आप लोगों को अप्रिशिएट भी कर रहे हैं, तो कैसा लग रहा है?
जी बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है जी।
जी जी जी, आप प्रधानमंत्री ने खुद बात करी, आपसे क्या कहा था प्रधानमंत्री?
जी उन्होंने कहा कि कोविड के टाइम में आप कैसे ड्यूटी करते थे, आपके घर वाले आपको मना करते रहे होंगे, तो मैंने कहा सर मना तो करते थे, लेकिन एक मन में सेवा का भाव था, उस भाव की वजह से हम लोग लगे हुए थे कि जब देश का पीएम इतनी सेवा कर रहा है तो हम थोड़ा बहुत क्यों नहीं कर सकते हैं। तो ये सुन के वो मैंने कहा कि सर एक बात कहना चाहूंगा आपसे कि आपने एक कहा था कि मैं देश का चौकीदार, तो आप चौकीदार की वजह से हम चौकीदारों का मनोबल बढ़ गया सर। तो ये सुन के बड़े हंसने लगे और मेरा पीठ थपथपाया।
आप खुश हैं जो जेस्चर प्रधानमंत्री का रहा, जो खुद आए यहाँ पर मुलाकात करी, आप लोगों से अप्रिशिएट करा, 100 करोड़ वैक्सीनेशंस के बाद आप लोग यहाँ पर खुश हैं कि मुलाकात हुई?
जी जी बहुत खुश है,
बहुत खुश है। सो क्लियरली यू नो अक्षता, इट्स jubilant out here, all of them very jubilant. Prime Minister came here and
okay, Mohit, we'll reconnect with you and come back to you. So the Prime Minister has also put out a tweet where he's congratulated India on this milestone. Few moments from now, the Prime Minister will also be inaugurating the Infosys Foundation Vishram Sadan. This is at the National Cancer Institute of AIIMS, Delhi. So that's going to be via video conferencing in a few moments from now. And there's no doubt that the Prime Minister is going to begin his speech by acknowledging this remarkable feat of 1 billion vaccine doses being administered. So we're standing by for that address also by the Prime Minister, where his message to the nation will be known on this very, very important day, on this historic day, October 21st, the day that we've reached 1 billion vaccine doses and counting, because we're even now looking at those numbers continuing to go up. And that really is symbolic of our successful vaccine drive. But let me again highlight that we've got miles to go really in our vaccination drive. Now is not the time to let our guard down. Now is the time to work on this and build the momentum further. Let's get you also this conversation that India Today's Sneha Murdani had with the COVID Task Force Chief, Dr. V.K. Paul, who's also led from the front in the fight against COVID.
Congratulations. India has now crossed 100 crore doses of giving out the COVID-19 vaccine. How big is this milestone? How significant is this milestone, sir?
Achieving a milestone of 100 crore COVID-19 vaccine doses is truly a remarkable achievement for our nation. Every Indian should be proud of this achievement. This is unprecedented. We started our vaccination program about 9 months ago, and gradually and then more speedily the vaccination program has picked up, and it is remarkable that the people of India have accepted the vaccine. They have thrown away the vaccine hesitancy. 75% of India's adults have received 1 dose. Over 30% have received 2 doses, and we are moving forward with completing the task of vaccinating every adult of our nation.
So that is the conversation that we've had with Dr. V.K. Paul also. And, so many of these leaders led from the front to ensure this moment, to ensure that, we went on the right track as far as our vaccination drive is concerned. Prema Rajaram is joining us live from Kolkata with the latest updates also on Bengal's vaccine journey. And Prema, there were moments when things went off track, especially in the run-up to the election. There was a lot of politics over the vaccine as well. But after that, and there was a challenge also in ensuring that everyone who stepped out during a pandemic to vote was kept safe. And that's why it was so important to ensure that those vaccination numbers kept going up.
Absolutely, Akshita, considering the fact that there were assembly elections in May, and that is when the second wave of COVID hit. And after that, we've also seen elections just recently by polls. But the state government was aggressive in its vaccination drive, encouraged people to come out and take the vaccine. The vaccination centers, whether the government or the private centers, were encouraging people to come out. There was a huge rush, even in the district hospitals. But people still wanted to go out, take the vaccine, and the government was encouraging people and still is encouraging people to come out and take their vaccine. Many have taken their first dose, but many are yet to take the second dose, and that is when the government says that one should not be lackadaisical, come out and take the second dose. Also, we must remember that schools in West Bengal have not opened. Now, that is an initiative that the government wants to take to open schools in West Bengal, but for that, the family members need to be vaccinated, the adults need to be vaccinated for that, so that the children are not put at risk. So, a huge challenge ahead for the West Bengal government, considering that there have been elections and festivities as well, but the government being aggressive in its vaccination drive. Back to you, Akshita.
Prema, thank you for joining us with all those details. So, India breaching 1 billion vaccine shots there and counting. Those numbers continuing to go up. We'll continue getting you all the latest reactions that come in from across India and from the world, because this is a feat that the world will be watching and complimenting and applauding India for. On the other side of a very short break, our focus is also on the other big story of the day, on the Aryan Khan drug case. His father, Shah Rukh Khan, visited him at the Arthur Road jail today. The Bombay High Court will be hearing his bail plea now in a few days on Tuesday.
में ऐसी स्थिति सन 93 में एक बार देखने को मिली थी, लेकिन वो भी इतनी भयानक नहीं थी जितनी भयानक इस बार ये।
गाड़ी रोक दी गई, अलर्ट जारी कर दिया गया। अब घर भी नहीं जा सकते हैं, होटल में भी नहीं रुक सकते यहाँ पे, क्योंकि प्राइस उनका वही है। वो कह रहे हैं कि हमसे कोई मतलब नहीं है।
आप देख रहे हैं पूरी रोड में पानी भरा हुआ, मोटरसाइकिल, टू व्हीलर सब बह चुके हैं। रोडें बिल्कुल ऐसी हो गई है कि जैसे बाढ़ आ रही है। इसका इस्तेमाल आप देख रहे हैं कि घुटनों तक पानी हमारे बस स्टेशन पे ही है। तो डाउन में क्या कर रहा होगा आप खुद ही समझ सकते हैं।
बहुत नुकसान हुआ। मैं तो 93 के बाद से अभी देख रहा हूँ। मैं सुबह 5:30 बजे से आया हूँ पेपर की गाड़ियाँ देखने के लिए। रिक्शा स्टैंड पर खड़ा हूँ, अभी आ पा रहा हूँ यहाँ पे। 1.5 घंटा हो गया मुझे यहाँ पर आने में। वहाँ से इतना पानी है, घुटने से ऊपर तक पानी है। अम्बेडकर पार्क, दर्शन पार्क, घर पार्क सब डूबा हुआ है। और बाजार की स्थिति देखो, पानी पूरा भवाली रोड और हल्द्वानी रोड में बिल्कुल पानी है। इतना पानी जा रहा है।
At the India Today Media Institute, we believe in training students in independent and critical thinking to improve their ability to analyze the world around them. The training provided at the ICMR is rigorous and multimedia with a view of producing top-notch media professionals.
You are watching India Today.
Big breaking news that's coming in. The Bombay High Court will be hearing Aryan Khan's bail plea on Tuesday now. Remember that his legal team has been pushing for the earliest possible date of hearing. That hasn't happened. In a few days from now, Aryan Khan's bail plea will come up only on Tuesday, so which means that this weekend he remains at the Arthur Road jail, and even then it's essentially going to be a race against time, because in 8 days from now the Bombay High Court will be in fact going for Diwali leave, so they will be hoping to ensure that he secures bail before that. Mustafa Sheikh joins us with more details on this. Mustafa, at this point no respite really for Aryan Khan. They were hoping that he will get the earliest possible date of hearing at the Bombay High Court. That hasn't happened.
Yes, of course, Akshita, because 5 days last week, even the High Court was on leave and there were pending cases. The matter for Aryan Khan was not listed for today, but it was mentioned before the court started. The court has asked the the lawyer of Aryan Khan to serve a notice to the NCB so that they can come with a reply on Tuesday. Aryan Khan's lawyers were trying for a early date tomorrow, which is Friday or Monday, but they got a date which is 5 days from on Thursday. They got a date for Tuesday. So Tuesday the hearing will take place. And we know for a fact of the past experiences of hearing in these cases that it will take at least 2 to 3 days for the arguments to get over and then for the results to come out, and then as you said, which are upcoming. So hence you can say that it will take some time before Aryan Khan comes out of jail. Back to you.
Let me take this across also to Saurabh Vakhtania. Saurabh, no options really for Aryan Khan right now and for his legal team. The only option is to rely on the Bombay High Court. They're already doing that. And considering that the hearing is only on Tuesday, it doesn't look like there's going to be any respite. It'll have to be a super fast hearing for Aryan Khan to actually get any relief before Diwali.
Well, Akshita, it's very obvious that now he has to rely till Tuesday only, because the hearing has to start from Tuesday only, because Advocate Satish Mane Shinde had tried very much hard that the hearing start from today itself. But let me tell you, the justice clearly said it's next week. Then he also said that next week on Monday. This is what Satish Mane Shinde said. But clearly, judge said that there are so many cases pending, so it cannot start any soon before Tuesday. So Tuesday is the...
Okay, we've lost the connection with Saurabh, but Saurabh is telling us that Tuesday is the date mentioned for hearing of Aryan Khan's bail plea. So it's going to be the weekend in the Arthur Road jail for Aryan Khan. His legal team will be hoping that they can get some relief from the Bombay High Court, and even that will have to happen very, very fast, because the court then goes into Diwali break, which will mean that Aryan Khan spends Diwali also at the Arthur Road jail. And amid all of that, you had Shah Rukh Khan, as you see on your screens there, visiting Aryan early this morning. And for all the latest updates on that story, much more, do log on to our website, indiatoday.in. You can also, of course, download the India Today app for all the latest news breaks. That's it from me. It's a wrap on this edition of India's Agenda. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great day.
The wait is almost over for the Business Today MDRA Best B Schools survey. More than 300 of India's best B schools compete for top honors in the most definitive guides to B schools in India. Which are the top 5 B schools? Will there be a new number 1? Who has the best placement record, the best facilities, the best technology? All this and much more in the Business Today Best B Schools survey. Subscribe now to grab your copy.
You are watching You are watching India Today.
All right, any moment now, and there you have it. Right now, 100 crore vaccination doses, 1 billion doses in the country has been administered. Huge moment for India. 21st October, a date we will remember in our vaccination journey, in our fight against coronavirus. India crosses 1 billion vaccine doses. Super duper landmark in COVID-19 war. India raises a toast to 1 billion jabs. Haters mocked, but India quietly fought. India salutes our healthcare workers. Citizens, this is thanks to your vaccine faith. Every jab counted, and now it's 1 billion.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Pooja Shali. Starting today's bulletin on a good note, which is 100 crore vaccination jabs, and may it continue further and may many more people stay healthy and safe in India. First, let's begin with headlines at 11. India crosses the 1 billion COVID vaccination mark 9 months after the nationwide inoculation drive began. Prime Minister visiting the RML hospital. Big news, Shah Rukh Khan, the superstar, meets his son Aryan Khan in prison. This, remember, days after his son had been arrested on drug charges. It's a 7-hour marathon grilling for Jacqueline, and this time the questioning went on for 7 hours in the 200 crore Bollywood con scandal. The actor was questioned over links with con Mansukh Chandrasekhar, agency also examining her bank statement. In Uttarakhand, 52 people dead in 4 days in rain-ravaged Uttarakhand. Massive rescue operations are underway to find the missing. Home Minister Amit Shah conducting an aerial survey soon. Netizens take on Superman after a clip allegedly from DC's new animated movie Injustice calls Kashmir as disputed, shows Superman and Wonder Woman destroying military equipment.
You will agree to these terms.
A truly historic moment for India and its massive vaccination drive today. India has now crossed 1 billion vaccination mark, a milestone and an unimaginable achievement as it may have appeared a few months ago. But today, India achieved this in just 257 days, 9 months to be precise, since the vaccination drive was flagged off in January. Since then, India has ramped up vaccinations at a rapid speed with an average of 11.12 crore doses one day and over 46.30 lakh doses every hour. With nearly 75% now of all Indians having at least one dose, 31% for now we are being told have received both doses. But how is this being marked? Prime Minister Narendra Modi visiting the RML hospital where he interacted with some of the healthcare workers. India's fight against COVID-19 and the mega inoculation drive, remember, has also been fueled by several record vaccinations, including the one we had, highest single-day tally of 2.5 crore shots on 17th of September. This also went on to set a world record. India, however, remember, has come a long way. Initial bottlenecks, vaccine hesitancy, apprehensions, people were in fear whether to even get this vaccination or not, logistic challenges, rumour mongering happening. The centre has batted numerous challenges along with states and citizens who came out and got themselves vaccinated.
सबसे तेज, सबसे व्यवस्थित और सबसे अच्छा वैक्सीनेशन का ये कैंपेन आज 100 करोड़ के अपने लक्ष्य को प्राप्त कर रहा है। मैं इसके लिए उन सभी लोगों को, जिन लोगों ने कोरोना मुक्त भारत की परिकल्पना को साकार करने में अपना योगदान दिया है, उन सबको इस अवसर पर बधाई देता हूं। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का, सभी हेल्थ वर्कर्स का, कोरोना वॉरियर्स का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं।
फ्री वैक्सीन दिलाई मोदी जी ने, और कितनी उसकी लॉजिस्टिक्स, उसके पीछे डेवलपमेंट, वैक्सीन का मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, आप सोचिए कि इसकी कल्पना कीजिए, दुनिया के जो बड़े बड़े देश हैं जिनकी हेल्थ केयर सिस्टम्स बहुत अच्छे हैं, उनसे भी बेहतर तरीके से भारत ने प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में देश भर में व्यापक रूप से वैक्सीनेशन किया।
हमारे देश के चिकित्सा मंत्रालय, उनके सारे कर्मचारी, देश के सारे प्रशासनिक अधिकारी और विशेष रूप से माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के आह्वान पर देश की जनता ने एकजुट होकर के कोरोना के खिलाफ इस लड़ाई को लड़ा है।
So India has now today hit the 1 billion vaccination mark, and of course several states also contributed to it, and the residents of those states. Which are the 5 states with most vaccinations as record? Uttar Pradesh leading with 12.21 crore, and followed that with Maharashtra, because Uttar Pradesh, remember, at about leading with 12.21, Maharashtra at about 9.32 crores, a state that had also battled a high pandemic record that has happened, the death and devastation in Maharashtra, but now followed that by West Bengal. 6.85 crore people have been inoculated, followed by Gujarat, 6.75 crore, and eventually also Madhya Pradesh, we are being told, at about 6.7 crore rupees. Remember, one is a TMC ruled state, one has Shiv Sena, one has the BJP. This is not about political ideologies, this is about people and governments coming together as Indians to ensure all of us remain vaccinated and healthy, so that we do not see the second wave repeating as the third this time. Let's go across to our reporters who were there, witnessing and observing, reporting on this historic moment. I'm joined by Mohit Sharma from RML Hospital, Delhi, where the Prime Minister visited. These are the latest visuals on your screen. We're also joined by our colleagues from Lucknow and also in Kolkata and Bengaluru. But I want to go across first to you, Mohit, because that's where the Prime Minister was. Has the Prime Minister left the RML Hospital? What precisely did he do there? Did he interact with the healthcare workers and meet any other people there? All right, we'll try and get that line back with my colleague Mohit. I want to go across to Prema Rajaram because she's in Kolkata. Prema, one of the states, Bengal, is also witnessing a high record there, and these are the visuals coming in of the Prime Minister at RML. Remember, they're flanked also by the Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya. So Prema, what precisely was the situation there in Kolkata? What did you see? Have people now willingly decided to come out and ensure that they get vaccinated? Prema.
Well, people want to come out and take the vaccine, which is heartening, but there are some people who are still skeptical, and that is a challenge for the government to make people come out and take that vaccine. But there have been most people who've taken the first dose of vaccine, so we're looking at around 5 crore of the population that has taken the vaccine as far as the second dose is concerned, and close to 2 crore people have taken the first dose of the vaccine. The second dose remains, but for the government it is good news that right now it's close to 7 crore people in the state that have been vaccinated. The state government, of course, did have certain they did have certain war of words back and forth with the center, but like you mentioned, it was the people that came first. It was for them to be vaccinated, and that was the main mission of the state government, which is why amidst elections and even after that with the second wave and by polls festivities, the government has been asking people to come out, be vaccinated. The vaccination centers, as far as the government run vaccination centers, also being proactive in encouraging people to come and take the vaccine. So even when we spoke to people today, they said that they were getting their vaccines quite easily. Back to you, Pooja.
So Prema, because she's on the ground, remember this has not been a smooth ride. Our reporters will tell you there were political roadblocks, there were face-offs, there were logistical issues, there was hesitancy, all of that. Eventually, Indians decided to come together as one. I want to go across to our other colleagues as well. We continue with these visuals there of the Prime Minister as well. Let's go across to, we have Lucknow, Delhi and also Bengaluru. Akshay Nath is now also joining me. Akshay, how is the situation there with you? I can see some people already behind you getting vaccinated. Politics aside, have people there in the state wanting to now get vaccinated? Have they realized the significance of it?
Well, Pooja, if you remember that Tamil Nadu was one state where vaccine hesitancy was really high. At least for the first 2 to 3 months, we had seen very low number of people coming forward to get vaccinated. But all that has changed. Now we're seeing that Tamil Nadu has now become one of those states with people coming voluntarily to get vaccinated. Close to 67% of Tamil Nadu's population has at least got a single dose, is what we're being told currently. And we need to remember, Pooja, that I am currently standing at the DPH, which is a place where 24/7 COVID-19 vaccination is provided by the state government. And here again, we've been seeing that there are people continuously coming to get vaccinated. We're seeing healthcare providers sitting here and taking all the records done. So this kind of an arrangement has been made by the government officials. And also another thing that is interestingly there in Tamil Nadu has been the mega vaccination drive that has been going on every Sunday, and that will be happening on the 23rd as well, where again the state government is hoping to cover maximum number of people. And you need to remember, Pooja, that there was a time when the state government was complaining about how there's a shortage of vaccines provided to the state, but that too has been changed. The centre has been providing sufficient number of vaccines for the state, is what the state health minister.
So if you are in Tamil Nadu, there's 24/7 vaccination centre. Go ahead, get yourself vaccinated. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaking on the 1 billion.
देश के पास अब 100 करोड़ वैक्सीन डोज का मजबूत सुरक्षा कवच है। ये उपलब्धि भारत की है, भारत के प्रत्येक नागरिक की है। मैं देश की वैक्सीन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनियां, वैक्सीन ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में जुड़े कर्मयोगियां, वैक्सीन लगाने में जुटे हेल्थ सेक्टर के प्रोफेशनल्स, सभी का खुले मन से, हृदय से बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। अभी कुछ देर पहले ही मैं राम मनोहर लोहिया हॉस्पिटल में एक वैक्सीन सेंटर से होकर के आया हूं। एक उत्साह है और दायित्व बोध भी है कि हमें मिलकर कोरोना को जल्द से जल्द हराना है। मैं प्रत्येक भारतवासी को बधाई देता हूं। 100 करोड़ वैक्सीन डोज की ये सफलता प्रत्येक भारतीय को अर्पित करता हूं। साथियों, आज एम्स झज्जर में कैंसर का इलाज कराने आने वाली मरीजों को एक बहुत बड़ी सहूलियत मिली है। नेशनल कैंसर इंस्टीट्यूट में बनाए ये विश्राम सदन मरीजों और उनके रिश्तेदारों की चिंता कम करेगा। कैंसर जैसी बीमारी में इलाज के लिए मरीज और उसके रिश्तेदारों को बार बार अस्पताल जाना आना पड़ता है। कभी कभी डॉक्टर से सलाह, कभी कोई जांच, कभी रेडियोथेरेपी, कभी कीमोथेरेपी। ऐसे में बहुत बड़ी दिक्कत उन्हें ये होती है कि रुके कहां, ठहरे कहां। अब नेशनल कैंसर इंस्टीट्यूट में आने वाले मरीजों की ये तकलीफ काफी कम हो जाएगी। खासतौर पर हरियाणा के लोग, दिल्ली और आसपास के लोग, उत्तराखंड के लोग, इन सबको इससे बहुत बड़ी मदद मिलेगी। साथियों, इस बार लाल किले से मैंने एक बात कही थी। मैंने कहा था सबका प्रयास। ये सबका प्रयास की जो बात कही थी, कोई भी सेक्टर हो, जैसे ही उसमें सामूहिक शक्ति जुड़ती है, सबका प्रयास नजर आने लगता है, तो परिवर्तन की गति भी बढ़ जाती है। 10 मंजिला ये विश्राम सदन भी सबके प्रयास से इस कोरोना काल में बनकर तैयार हुआ है। और ये भी विशेष है कि इस विश्राम सदन में देश की सरकार और कॉरपोरेट वर्ल्ड दोनों की साझा शक्ति लगी है। इन्फोसिस फाउंडेशन ने विश्राम सदन की इमारत बनवाई है, तो वहीं इसके लिए जमीन देने और बिजली पानी का खर्च एम्स जज्जर द्वारा उपलब्ध कराया गया है। मैं एम्स प्रबंधक और सुधा मूर्ति जी की टीम का इस सेवा कार्य के लिए आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। सुधा जी का व्यक्तित्व जितना विनम्र है, सहज सरल है, उतनी ही वो गरीबों के प्रति करुणा से भरी हुई है। नर सेवा को नारायण सेवा मानने वाले उनके विचार, उनके कार्य हर किसी को प्रेरित करते हैं। इस विश्राम सदन में उन्होंने सहयोग के लिए मैं उनकी सराहना करता हूं। साथियों, भारत के कॉरपोरेट सेक्टर ने, प्राइवेट सेक्टर ने, सामाजिक संगठनों ने निरंतर देश की स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं को मजबूत करने में अपना योगदान दिया है। आयुष्मान भारत, पीएम जय भी इसका एक बेहतरीन उदाहरण है। इस योजना के तहत 2.25 करोड़ से अधिक मरीजों का मुफ्त इलाज हो चुका है और ये इलाज सरकारी के साथ ही प्राइवेट अस्पतालों में भी हुआ है। आयुष्मान योजना से जो देश के हजारों अस्पताल जुड़े हैं, उनमें से लगभग 10,000 प्राइवेट सेक्टर के ही हैं। साथियों, पब्लिक और प्राइवेट सेक्टर के बीच यही साझेदारी मेडिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और मेडिकल एजुकेशन के अभूतपूर्व विस्तार में भी काम आ रही है। आज जब हम देश के हर जिले में कम से कम एक मेडिकल कॉलेज बनाने पर बल दे रहे हैं, तो इसमें प्राइवेट सेक्टर का रोल भी बहुत अहम है। इसी भागीदारी को बल देने के लिए मेडिकल एजुकेशन से जुड़ी गवर्नेंस में बहुत बड़े रिफॉर्म्स किए गए हैं। नेशनल मेडिकल कमीशन का गठन होने के बाद भारत में प्राइवेट मेडिकल कॉलेज खोलना और आसान हुआ है। साथियों, हमारे यहां कहा गया है, दान दिए धन ना घटे, नदी ना घटे नीर। यानी दान करने से धन घटता नहीं है, बढ़ता है। इसलिए जितनी सेवा करेंगे, दान करेंगे, उतनी ही संपत्ति बढ़ेगी। यानी एक तरह से हम जो दान देते हैं, सेवा करते हैं, वो हमारी ही प्रगति को व्यापक बनाती है। मुझे विश्वास है आज हरियाणा के झज्जर में विश्राम सदन का निर्माण एक विश्वास सदन के रूप में भी उभर रहा है। ये विश्राम सदन विश्वास सदन का भी काम करता है। देश के अन्य लोगों को भी ऐसे ही और भी विश्राम सदन बनाने की प्रेरणा देगा। केंद्र सरकार अपनी तरफ से भी प्रयास कर रही है कि देश में जितने भी एम्स हो, जितने नए एम्स बन रहे हो, वहां पर नाइट शेल्टर्स जरूर बने। साथियों, अपनी बीमारी से परेशान मरीज और मरीज के रिश्तेदारों को थोड़ी सी भी सहूलियत मिल जाती है तो बीमारी से लड़ने का उनका हौसला भी बढ़ जाता है। ये सहूलियत देना भी एक तरह से सेवा ही है। जब मरीज को आयुष्मान भारत योजना के तहत मुफ्त में इलाज मिलता है तो वो उसकी सेवा होती है। ये सेवा भाव ही है जिसकी वजह से हमारी सरकार ने कैंसर की लगभग 400 दवाओं की कीमतों को कम करने के लिए कदम उठाए। ये सेवा भाव ही है जिसकी वजह से गरीबों को जन औषधि केंद्रों से बहुत सस्ती, बहुत मामूली कीमत में दवाएं दी जा रही है। और मध्यम वर्ग के परिवार जिनके घर में कभी साल भर दवाइयां लेनी पड़ती हैं, ऐसे परिवारों को तो साल में 10, 12, 15 हजार रुपयों की बचत हो रही है। अस्पतालों में हर प्रकार की जरूरी सुविधाएं मिले, अपार्टमेंट सरल और सुविधाजनक हो, अपॉइंटमेंट में कोई कठिनाई ना हो, इस पर भी बहुत ध्यान दिया जा रहा है। मुझे संतोष है कि आज भारत में इन्फोसिस फाउंडेशन जैसे अनेक संस्थान सेवा परमो धर्मः के इसी सेवा भाव से गरीबों की मदद कर रहे हैं, उनका जीवन आसान बना रहे हैं। और जैसा अभी सुधा जी ने बड़े विस्तार से पत्रम पुष्पम की बात कही, और मैं समझता हूं सभी देशवासियों का ये कर्तव्य बनता है कि जीवन में जब भी जहां कोई न कोई पुष्प सेवा के भाव से समर्पित करने का अवसर मिले, हमने कभी भी इस अवसर को जाने नहीं देना चाहिए। साथियों, आजादी के इस अमृत काल में एक सशक्त हेल्थ केयर सिस्टम विकसित करने की दिशा में भारत तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहा है। गांव-गांव तक फैले हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस सेंटर, ई संजीवनी द्वारा टेलीमेडिसिन की सुविधा, हेल्थ सेक्टर में ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट, नए मेडिकल संस्थानों का निर्माण, देश के कोने कोने में इससे जुड़ा काम चल रहा है। ये संकल्प निश्चित रूप से बहुत बड़ा है, लेकिन अगर समाज और सरकार की पूरी ताकत लगेगी तो हम लक्ष्य को बहुत जल्द ही हासिल कर पाएंगे। आपको ध्यान होगा, कुछ समय पहले एक इनोवेटिव पहल हुई थी, सेल्फ फॉर सोसाइटी। इससे जुड़कर हजारों संस्थान और लाखों लोग समाज के हित में अपना योगदान दे रहे हैं। भविष्य में हमें अपने प्रयासों को और संगठित तरीके से आगे बढ़ाना है, ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को जोड़ना है, जागरूकता बढ़ानी है। आजादी के अमृत काल में एक हेल्दी और वेल्दी फ्यूचर के लिए हम सभी को मिलकर काम करते रहना होगा, और ये सबके प्रयास से ही होगा, समाज की सामूहिक शक्ति से ही होगा। मैं एक बार फिर सुधा जी, इन्फोसिस फाउंडेशन का आभार व्यक्त करते हुए, मैं आज जब हरियाणा की धरती के लोगों से बात कर रहा हूं तो मैं जरूर कुछ और भी बात बताना चाहता हूं। मेरा सौभाग्य रहा है, मुझे हरियाणा से बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला है। जीवन का एक लंबा कालखंड मुझे हरियाणा में काम करने का मौका मिला है। मैंने वहां बहुत सरकारों को निकट से देखा है। अनेक दशकों के बाद हरियाणा को मनोहर लाल जी खट्टर के नेतृत्व में शुद्ध रूप से ईमानदारी से काम करने वाली सरकार मिली है। एक ऐसी सरकार मिली है जो दिन रात हरियाणा के उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए सोचती है। मैं जानता हूं अभी मीडिया का ध्यान ऐसी रचनात्मक और सकारात्मक बातों तरफ कम गया है, लेकिन कभी न कभी जब हरियाणा का मूल्यांकन होगा तो पिछले 5 दशक में सबसे उत्तम काम करने वाली, इनोवेटिव काम करने वाली, दूर की सोच के काम करने वाली ये हरियाणा सरकार है। और मनोहर लाल जी को मैं सालों से जानता हूं, लेकिन मैं देख रहा हूं कि मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में उनकी प्रतिभा जिस प्रकार से निखर करके आई है, अनेक विविध कार्यक्रमों को जिस प्रकार से मनोयोग से वो करते रहते हैं, जिस प्रकार से वो इनोवेटिव कार्यक्रम करते हैं, कभी कभी तो भारत सरकार को भी लगता है कि हरियाणा का ये प्रयोग पूरे देश में लागू करना चाहिए, और ऐसे कुछ प्रयोग हमने किए भी हैं। और इसलिए आज जब मैं हरियाणा की धरती के पास खड़ा हूं, उनसे मैं बात कर रहा हूं, तो मैं जरूर कहूंगा कि मनोहर लाल जी के नेतृत्व में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की इस टीम ने जिस प्रकार से हरियाणा की सेवा की है और जो लंबी सोच के साथ जो नींव डाली है, वो हरियाणा के उज्जवल भविष्य की बहुत बड़ी ताकत बनने वाली है। मैं आज फिर मनोहर लाल जी को सार्वजनिक रूप से बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, उनकी पूरी टीम को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, और आप सबका भी मैं हृदय से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं।
So definitely a historic milestone today, and may there be many more to go for Indians to become vaccinated and safe. I'm heading into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Lots more lined up on the other side.
You are watching India Today.
There is an airline called Bikini Airline, which is Vietnam airline. It's called Vietjet. So they actually, their air hostesses wear bikini and go inside the aircraft. Book titled Women in Work, The Sky is Full of Sexism, which is based on the life of air hostesses. I've extensively discussed about the problems which air hostesses face because of their sexist uniforms, which are many a time sexually objectified. Air hostesses have complained that their uniform is not comfortable, that their uniform is not weather appropriate. When they take flights to Ladakh, when they take flights to terrain which are very cold, they actually freeze in those skirts. And then there are unsaid rules in airlines that the skirts have to be 4 inches above knee length. Instead of making them an eye candy, which they a lot of times tell me that this is how we come across to passengers as an eye candy, even in advertisements we come across as an eye candy. This should not happen to us. In fact, the uniform should be made respectful, it should be weather appropriate, it should be comfortable.
Красиво тоже, я не спорю, но ножки, конечно, чувствуют. Это все к концу полета, а ноги отекают. В кроссовках, конечно, ну, что вам сказать, классно. Это максимально удобно, потому что и не находится, да, на подъеме ножка, и...
И
выяснили то, что несмотря на то, что образ бортпроводницы очень романтичный, он предполагает много физической подготовки, и ребята на борту, они также отвечают за безопасность, поэтому форма должна быть действительно комфортной в передвижении.
That it is a very important job that air hostesses do. They are actually responsible for the safety of all the passengers on board, and it is time that they get the respect they deserve. Their job, which is very, very intensive, which requires a lot of hard work and training, it deserves the respect.
You are watching India Today. You are watching India Today. You are watching India Today. You are watching.
Crore doses of the vaccines against COVID-19 have been given out in India. As India crosses this important milestone, we delve deep to understand where the country stands today in its battle against COVID-19. The pandemic that has shaken the world, India's vaccine metric from shortage of vaccines to using drones for vaccine delivery now, we have come a long way. On the show today, we are going to tell you about the journey of vaccinations in India. Exclusive interviews with top scientists, including Professor Balram Bhargav, the head of the Indian Council of Medical Research, also coming up. I'm Sneha Moldani. This is COVID 360. A momentous feat in India's vaccination drive, with us crossing 100 crore vaccinations. Here is a report on what this big billion means and how India managed to achieve this feat.
Right now, 100 crore vaccination doses, 1 billion doses in the country has been administered. Huge moment for India. 21st October, a date we will remember in our vaccination journey, in our fight against coronavirus.
सब जगह डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो चुका है। उनको नहीं कल्लू की लड़की एक बार है।
Moving mountains in the most inhospitable terrains, ensuring no Indian is left behind. India's finally crossed the landmark 1 billion COVID vaccine doses in a little over 9 months from when the first dose was administered in January. With Prime Minister Narendra Modi and state governments leading from the front, the vaccine milestone is a feat unparalleled in modern medical history.
100 साल में आई सबसे बड़ी महामारी का मुकाबला करने के लिए देश के पास अब 100 करोड़ वैक्सीन डोज का मजबूत सुरक्षा कवच है.
The 100 crore doses are a turning point in India's mega pandemic fight, a shining light just ahead of India's biggest festival, Diwali. Protecting 75% of India's population with the first dose. The mammoth task saw dedication from healthcare and frontline workers who sacrificed family time to ensure the jab of life is delivered to even the last person in the queue. But challenges still remain. Nearly 70% of adult population needs to be fully jabbed.
The first dose coverage is touching, almost 80%. It will be touching 80% in a few days or so. But how big is the concern that as far as the two-dose coverage is there, is just about 30%?
The immunization is not complete till both the doses have been given. With one dose, we reach a certain level of immunity. It is the second dose which exponentially raises the immunity level to the maximum possible immunity that the vaccine can give. So it is a half task done. About 10 crore individuals are due for their second dose as of now, roughly about 10 crores. And they should have received the second dose by now.
Children below 18, who make for 40% of the population, are yet to get vaccines. Zydus Cadila's Zycov-D and Bharat Biotech's Covaxin are, however, ready to be rolled out now for kids.
Curbing vaccine hesitancy remains a very big challenge. But as a lot of people who took their first dose this summer will move forward to take their second jab, the narrowing of gap will take place, and this is what the government is expecting. And an aggressive campaign to make sure they urge people to take the second jab will be undertaken going forward by the Health Ministry as well. And that will help inoculate many by the end of December. That remains a bigger target for the government. With Sanjay Kumar in New Delhi, this is Milan Sharma reporting for India Today.
All right, now let's take a look at India's big billion doses in numbers and how it looks like. Well, phase 1 of India's vaccination drive, remember, began on the 16th day of January early this year for 30 million healthcare workers, also frontline workers. The phase 2 began on the 1st of March and was to cover those above the age of 45 with underlying healthcare conditions or comorbidities. The phase 3 began on the 1st of May for all Indians above the age of 18. Now, let's take a look at how India got here. India first inoculated an average of 11.12 crore doses per day since it flagged off the vaccination drive just 9 months ago. India inoculated highest single-day vaccinations of 2.5 crore doses on the day of the Prime Minister's birthday. That was the 17th of September. This also went on to become the world record for daily vaccinations in India. Also inoculated over 1 crore doses on 6 different days, in fact. In terms of how much of India's population is vaccinated, at least 75% of Indians have got 1 dose of the vaccine. Well, a little more than 30%, about 31% of the Indian population has received both doses of the vaccine. Now, I also spoke earlier to Professor Balram Bhargav. He is the Director General of India's premier-most research institute, the Indian Council of Medical Research. And here's what he's had to say about this big achievement. You know, doorstep delivery of the vaccines that the government has now allowed, to using drones to give out vaccines. What else is on the agenda? What else is the government, the ICMR, planning to ensure faster, quicker delivery?
I think this has really been a very successful story for our vaccination program, and the whole world is watching. We have had positive inputs from all parts of the world, the way we have done it in this very agile, nimble and a pragmatic vaccination program, which has not only taken the naysayers but also the international media as well by surprise, and they are also now all committed to be part of the whole celebration that the country is doing at the moment in terms of creating such a landmark of 1 billion doses across such a large country, whether it be vaccine delivery at home or whether it be delivery of vaccines by drones in hard-to-reach areas. We recently sent a drone from Bishnupur to Karang, which is vaccines were delivered by drones. Now it is about a 31-kilometer distance, wherein the drones are delivered vaccines from Bishnupur, then to an island in the world-famous Lokmat Lake, and that is 26 kilometers by road, 3 kilometers by boat, and then 1 kilometer walk, which would take several hours to actually deliver the vaccine. And we delivered the vaccines in about 12 to 13 minutes by drones. They were even given, vaccinations were done with that within 20 minutes from Bishnupur when they were sent. So this is something which has never really happened, and we have demonstrated to the world that this can be done. And with the new drone policy which the government has announced, things have become much convenient, and we are now have a program from the ICMR's perspective, which is a demonstration project called the iDrone, which is ICMR or India Drone Resource Outreach for the Northeast. That's the acronym, so iDrone. So we're working on that. And you're talking about doorstep delivery for elderly, infirm people, where it is being done. So from that perspective, I think a lot has been done. And we have found that the community engagement and the people involvement has been absolutely fantastic. And we congratulate you people as the media who have supported us so well in this program.
All right, we're going across to some news that is just coming in. The Prime Minister, in fact, has reached Delhi's Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital, where he is in fact interacting with healthcare workers, the doctors, the staff there, to congratulate them, to laud their efforts, to talk about the kind of work that has been done in the direction of achieving vaccinations, from vaccine hesitancy to vaccine eagerness. India has come a very, very long way. The Prime Minister on a scheduled visit to Delhi's RML Hospital, where in fact, as you can see on your screens, is interacting with the people there to talk about how the country really has done in terms of achieving this big feat today. These are pictures from RML Hospital, where you can see on your screens. The nurses there also interacting with the Prime Minister on a big day, an important day for all of us, where the country has managed to achieve 100 crore vaccinations.
सर मैं हॉस्पिटल में 1 साल हो गया
अब तक कितने लोगों का वैक्सीन किया?
सर जब से वैक्सीनेशन शुरू किया था तो तब से
15,000। अरे वाह। तो अभी तो कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल भी बहुत आया होगा। कुछ पेशेंट आया होगा जो चिल्लाता भी होगा।
सर उनको डर लगता है कि वैक्सीन से डर लगता है, और किसी को इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं होती कि वैक्सीन का साइड इफेक्ट होगा, तो हमें यहाँ पे काउंसलिंग देने के बाद अच्छी लगती है।
किसी को ज़्यादा चुप गया होगा तो चिल्लाया होगा, कुछ गुस्सा किया होगा।
एक बार इनकाउंटर होता है, बस इतना ज़्यादा
लोग कोऑपरेट करते हैं। तो घर जाते तो परिवार वालों का क्या लगता था कि कहाँ एक बेटी क्या कर रही है, घर में तो कोरोना नहीं ले आएगी?
सर स्टार्टिंग में मम्मी वगैरह पेरेंट्स का बेटी अच्छे भाव से कर रहा है, इसलिए करके ये भी कर रहा है, तो अच्छा लग रहा है।
चलिए बहुत बहुत बधाई आपको। आराम से आपको दिखाते जब
हमारे पास आप जैसे प्रधान सेवक अपने आप को भाग्यशाली
सेवा करो, करो।
सर आपको जो वैक्सीन लेना है, आपको सेकेंड डोज के 28 दिन के बाद आना है।
घर में लोग चिंता करते होंगे छुट्टी ले लो,
घर वाले हम लोग आर्थिक सेवा करें, सेवा करते हैं।
मूल कहाँ के?
सबसे बड़ी बात सर, जैसे आपने कहा ना कि मैं देश का चौकीदार, तो वो चीज़ बड़ा गौरव है सर, बहुत गौरव है। देश के जितने भी हमारे सिक्योरिटी के लोग हैं, इन सब लोगों का आपने गौरव बढ़ा दिया सर।
नमस्ते जी, गुड मॉर्निंग। क्या नाम है?
छवि।
अच्छा, तो कैसे आना हुआ अस्पताल? वैक्सीनेशन करना है?
यस।
अच्छा, इतना देर से क्यों?
गाना गा।
गाना गाती। अच्छा, ये सुनाओ, देशभक्ति का कोई गाना सुनाओ।
मेरे वतन के लोगों जरा शहीद हुए उनकी जरा याद करो कुर्बान जब घायल हुआ हिमालय खतरे में पड़ी है आजादी जब तक की सांस लड़े तो फिर अपनी जान बिछा दी। फोटो खींचा
फोटो लेना है फोटो लेना है कौन लेगा आप लेंगे
Well, a big day to celebrate the Prime Minister with the people there in Delhi's RML hospital, where he was interacting with the workers, with the people there who in fact have come in for treatment at this hospital.
अभी एक ये जो सफलता है वो 100 करोड़ भारतीयों को 125 करोड़ भारतीयों को अर्पित है एक प्रत्येक भारतीय.
He's interacting with the doctors there, with the nurses, also with patients who are in fact coming for treatment at the hospital. An important day as India achieves this huge feat of vaccinating, of giving out in fact 100 crore doses today. The Prime Minister is in fact at Delhi's RML hospital as we speak, interacting with the doctors there, the patients there, and in an attempt to talk to them about what their concerns are. He's also in fact met with the person who received the billion dose of the vaccine. Mohit is getting us more details on that big story. Mohit, of course, the Prime Minister choosing the RML hospital there in Delhi to meet the doctors. It would be boosting their morale, their enthusiasm, a great day for them as well. The efforts of healthcare workers that have really helped us achieve this huge feat today, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. You know, this is a collective collaboration of every citizen of India, which has managed to ensure that at least 1 billion doses have been officially been inoculated. And we have, mind you, the person who got the 1 billionth dose as well, Mr. Arun Rai with us, and he is the person who got it. Sir, 100 करोड़ जो वैक्सीन है वो आपको लगी है. प्रधानमंत्री से थोड़ी डांट भी पड़ी आपको बीच में, कुछ बताइए उसके बारे में.
मैं शुरू से बताऊं कि
सर आप बताइए कि क्या हुआ था. प्रधानमंत्री ने जब आपसे बातचीत करी तो क्या हुआ था सर?
माननीय जब मैं टीका लगवाने जा ही रहा था जी, तब तक माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी आ गए जी, और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने पूछा मुझसे कि ये हमारा पहला डोज है या दूसरा डोज है जी. तो मैंने माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को बताया कि ये हमारा पहला डोज है. तो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा, उन्होंने डांटा भी, वो आश्चर्यचकित भी हुए कि ये पहला डोज क्यों. तो मैंने बताया कि पहला डोज इसलिए कि मेरे मन में दो मेरे भ्रांतियाँ थीं और मेरी गलतफहमी थी कि मैं सोच रहा था कि मैं बनारसी हूँ और मैं योगा करता हूँ, इसलिए मुझे कुछ नहीं हो सकता. इस बार ये बात जब मैंने उनसे कहा तो उन्होंने पूछा कि बनारस कहाँ. तो मैंने उनसे बताया कि सारनाथ मेरा घर जी. तो उन्होंने कहा अच्छा. तो मुझसे नहीं सीखा, मैंने जो है पहला लगवाया तो सबसे पहले टीका मैंने ही लगवाया था, ऐसे उन्होंने कुछ बताया. उसके बाद मैंने कहा कि वो तो मैंने देखा, लेकिन फिर भी मैं लापरवाह था.
डर था आपके मन में थोड़ा सा उस टाइम पे?
नहीं, डर तो नहीं था. मैं वो एक देवता वो खड़े थे.
वैक्सीन ना लगाने का डर था कि शायद वैक्सीन लगेगी?
शर्मिंदगी थी.
शर्मिंदगी थी,
डर नहीं था, शर्मिंदगी थी.
और फिर जब लगवा लिया सर, अब की क्या सिचुएशन है? अब क्या कहेंगे लोगों को, क्योंकि अभी 100 का आंकड़ा ही पार हुआ है अभी, लेकिन अभी बहुत दूर और जाना है.
अब पिता तुल्य मोदी जी हैं, उनसे डांट मिलने के बाद तो मुझे जागरूकता फैलानी है जी. निश्चित रूप से मैं जागरूकता
फैलाएंगे. ये है माइंड यू, दिस इज द पर्सन हु हैज मैनेज्ड टू गेट द 1 billionth dose in India. He says that from now onwards it is going to be him who would be campaigning for vaccination. And we'll just cut across to another visuals, because you know the Prime Minister not only spoke to people you know the person who got the vaccination done, but here as well, here at the center here as well, this is the vaccination center where the Prime Minister also spoke. We'll speak to some of the people here as well. Sir, the Prime Minister came here, he spoke to people. कैसा लगा सर? आप क्या बता पाएंगे इसके बारे में? कभी सोचा था Prime Minister himself would be here?
कभी होप भी नहीं था कि हम उनसे प्राइम मिनिस्टर से हम कभी मिल पाएंगे, लेकिन आज मिल के हमने फर्स्ट टाइम हमने उनको देखा तो मिल के हमें बहुत अच्छा लगा। कुछ हमसे उन्होंने क्वेश्चंस भी पूछे, उनका भी हमने आंसर अच्छे से दिया।
Sir, thank you. And once again, we are taking you across to Christina here, who is the nursing officer here at the RML hospital, and specifically quite a feat that she has also achieved is that she has managed to inoculate at least 15,000 people. She has given out 15,000 vaccinations. And ma'am, it seems that the Prime Minister was really shocked and expressed his happiness over the fact here as well. What did he say to you?
Like when he asked me regarding my journey, I told him like I've inoculated like about approximately 15,000 people. Sir, he was so surprised, and then at the same time I can see his happiness on his face. And that time I was feeling so proud because I've done, as a nurse, I've done my duty, and I was feeling so proud at that moment.
Ma'am, but that was not the only thing that he asked. Perhaps he also wanted to understand from you the struggles that have been over the past 1.5 years that you as a healthcare worker have faced. Ma'am, what did you say to that, and what was the response of the Prime Minister?
Yeah, so like today we have reached 100 crore, but starting during the initial days of this vaccination, the response was like people, they were scared because they don't have proper information regarding the vaccine, and also since it is a new vaccine, they are afraid of the side effects, and so like it was not a tough thing, but when people come, we could see the fears on their faces and the doubts on their mind. So like we have to counsel them, we tell them regarding the benefits of the vaccine.
And what did the Prime Minister say when you told them about the kind of struggle that you've been through?
Yeah, sir, he was so happy. He patted me, and then he like appreciate me, and then wishes me for the best of the future.
Best of the future is something that the Prime Minister wished Christina here as well. And clearly, however, at the same point, I would also like to take you through these visuals here, because these are all the people who are still sitting here getting vaccinated. So mind you, we may have managed to cross the 1 billionth mark, but that does not mean that we are going to stop. And that's precisely something that is happening here. The Prime Minister came here. He appreciated the kind of work that is being done by all our healthcare workers. He met a lot of them, appreciated, gave the patted on their backs as well, and spoke to them, because ultimately, the government of India has made it very amply clear that we are thankful to all our healthcare workers and the kind of work that they have been in fact doing here. In each and every hospital, in each and every district, and ensuring that the vaccination drive continues to prosper and break records.
All
Back
right,
to you in the studio.
Mohit, thanks so much for getting us all of those details. Interesting developments there from Delhi's RML today, where the Prime Minister was. With that, it's time for a quick commercial break here. Much more news on the other side.
You are watching India Today.
China's warlike behavior is raising concerns among several countries, particularly the Quad, which is countries like India, Australia, Japan and the United States. Now, due to this, countries are now planning to build up 8 nuclear-powered attack submarines, or SSN, to counter the Indo-Pacific region threat. But the collaboration offered by India on an Indo-US approach for nuclear reactor propulsion has been denied by the United States. So why won't the US give India the technology for nuclear submarines? If not the US, then how will we acquire the submarine technology? Let's decode that for you. First, let's answer the question why the United States has denied India nuclear submarines. On 16 September, the Indian Navy officials read an upsetting text from AUKUS, which is a US-UK military alliance. The text read that both US and UK will equip Australia to design and build up to 8 nuclear-powered submarines. These submarines are being designed to tackle China very clearly. The US Congress told India that they won't discuss anything with the transfer of nuclear propulsion. But since really the mid-1980s, India has relied on the Soviet Union for submarines. In 2016, a few years ago, India became the 6th country in the world to operate nuclear submarines. We commissioned INS Arihant. INS Arihant is a slow-moving bomber and stealthy